Hey everyone, it's Zen Lioness81. Today I'm coming to you with a lock tag that I created myself. So it consists of questions that I get asked on a regular basis. I always assume that a lot of people with locks get asked the same questions. These are questions that are based on stereotypes, dreadlock stereotypes, dread stereotypes, just the assumptions that people without locks make when they meet you, and not all of them are true. So that's why I wanted to create this tag to see if people get the same questions that I get on a regular basis, and is it just how I pretty much respond to these questions. The first question is, what is your favorite shampoo? And I included that question because a lot of people still assume that you don't shampoo your hair when you have locks, and even people that are a little bit less ignorant, they believe that if you lock your hair, the way you get it to lock is by not shampooing it. So I've heard one person say, oh, if you don't shampoo your hair will lock. If you don't comb your hair will lock, but you know, you can go years without shampooing, comb your hair every day, and your hair's not gonna lock. So it's still a stereotype that a lot of people get. But when it comes to shampoo, that's one of the only products I use. I don't use conditioner, I don't use a lot of styling products, so shampoo is really, really important to me when it comes to maintaining the health of my hair. So that's why I'm always curious when I meet other lock wearers what type of shampoo they like, and mine is Organics or OGX, and it's sulfate free, so it won't dry your hair out. It does lather, so you kind of feel like you're getting your hair clean, and you can find it at a lot of places like regular beauty supply stores and Walmart. It's not too pricey, it's about $10 or less, and it comes in a little round bottle with a gold cap. And I have been trying other shampoos, but I always go back to that shampoo because I just really like it. It cleans my hair, it makes it smell nice, and it makes it soft. So the next question is, how often do you retwist your hair? And I put this question down because a lot of people assume that when you have locks you don't do anything to your hair, and it's just a really cheap, low maintenance way of being. But it all depends on the individual. I used to retwist my own hair like every 6 weeks or so, and it was really tedious because I had locks that are even smaller than the ones I had now. And then there are people that do maintain their hair because they like their locks to look well manicured, so they go to a loctician every 4 or 6 weeks to get their roots retwisted, and that ends up being high maintenance and costly. So a lot of people assume that when you lock your hair, you're doing away with like the cost you would get from relaxer touch-ups or weaving or whatever. But a lot of people that have locks, their hair is high maintenance and their hair is expensive, so it's not right to assume that people who have locks are automatically, you know, low maintenance, or they don't spend a lot of money on their hair. Number 3, do you believe in hair color? I put this question down because a lot of people in the natural hair community, they believe that once you color your hair, you're no longer a natural. So when it comes to locks, I have my hair colored. That's why I don't frown down on anyone that colors their hair, because underneath this jet black, it has been red, and I have put like blonde highlights in it. So I'm not against color. And when I colored my hair the first time, I never had any qualms about, oh, I'm doing something to my hair that makes me less natural, because, you know, I really don't care that much. As long as I'm not doing something that's going to damage my hair and change the texture of it and cause my locks to unravel or break off, I'm fine with color. So it's not right to assume that because you have a natural hairstyle that you can't use color in your hair. Number 4, what industry are you in? I included this question because a lot of people assume that when you have locks, there are certain industries you can't work in. You can't work in corporate America, you can't work in an office environment, and all this other stuff. Medical transcription, and not only was I in front of a computer all day, but like I was pretty much working for myself. So after that, I became a hairstylist, so, you know, it's not really a hindrance to have hair that's kind of unique. So it really depends on the individual. If you're really, really driven and you have like a specific goal in mind and you're like, I do have to work in this industry, like it doesn't mean that you can't get a job in corporate America, or you can't get a job in an office environment. It's just, you pretty much have to figure out what's right for you, and you do have to take in stride that people may stereotype you or look at you twice when you have locks. But definitely more people have locks, and it really doesn't hinder how much money you have the potential to make, because a lot of people with locks do have their own business or are multifaceted and educated, and it has nothing to do with your income. It just has to do with how strict your dress code is where you're working. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Number 5, are you vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian? A lot of people assume that I'm vegetarian because of my locks solely. And the short answer to that question is I have been vegetarian and vegan in the past, but right now I do eat meat. I eat very, very little meat. That's just a personal choice of mine. I don't like meat too much, and I feel better when I don't eat it physically. But you know, there are benefits to not eating too much meat, but at the same time, not everyone who has locks is like inspired by the Rasta culture, and they don't follow the Rasta culture in terms of eating and whatnot. So to assume that people don't eat meat because they have locks is false. Definitely to assume they don't eat pork, because a lot of people with locks don't eat pork, but that doesn't even mean they're Rasta. A lot of people without locks don't eat pork. Pork is not something that everyone likes the taste of. Pork isn't something that everyone thinks is clean. There's nothing wrong with not eating pork, and it has nothing to do with having locks. Number 6, do you listen to reggae? I do listen to reggae. I'm not a big Bob Marley fan, to be honest. I do listen to Damian Marley because I like his style of music, and I like Stephen Marley because I like his voice a little bit more. I do listen to Mavado and a few other reggae artists, but right now the genre I listen to the most, it would have to be like pop music, to be honest. Like I'll listen to Jessie J or Sia or Cat Dahlia because I like their voices, but at the same time they have like a soulful energy, so it kind of ties into R&B, but because they're mainstream artists, they can like experiment more, and they could bring in elements of alternative or reggae or pop. And I do listen to reggae, but that's not the only genre of music I listen to. And the last question would be, do you smoke? And the short answer for me would be no, I do not smoke weed. I don't even smoke cigarettes. The thing is, I've tried cigarettes, but I've never in my life tried weed. And people do ask me that on a regular basis. I remember one night I was taking the bus home, and it wasn't late at night. There were other people at the bus stop, but apparently some guy got out of his car when he was driving by, and then he came over to ask me if I smoke and if I wanted to come smoke with him. And I was like, no, like you need to leave me alone. So the bus came and I hopped on the bus, but then I was kind of jittery. I was texting my friend because I had gone to visit them, and I'm like, this guy came up to me and he was trying to get me to smoke with him, and I'm afraid when I get off the bus, like he's gonna follow me. And it was just weird. But don't assume that everyone has locks, that everyone that has locks smokes or is going to smoke with you or is going to give you weed or something like that. It's just really, really inappropriate to do. So those are pretty much my questions. Feel free to do this tag if you get asked these questions on a regular basis, because I'm really curious to know your answers, because sometimes you do fit a stereotype but you don't really mean to, and it just should be interesting to see your responses. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.